All right, this is Kororinpa, Marble Mania, and it's kind of like a Super Monkey Ball type game. LB boy. But yeah, it's kind of like Super Monkey Ball. In that level gauge, we'll turn that on. Sound, view split, yeah, whatever. Where you roll around on a thing and you're just trying to get to the end. But it's, instead of moving the floor, you're moving the ball, I believe. This is also there's a game called Marble Madness on like the Nintendo and the arcade. I think this is a spiritual successor or something. But yeah, I'm not super familiar with this one. This game actually had a sequel on the Wii as well, called like Marble Saga or Marble Mania or something. That's the one that I played more. But yeah, I'm just gonna go in it. It's as you can see, it's literally just me tilting the controller. I have to get the red crystals, and then I can go in. This controller moves a whole lot. Oh boy. I got candy. Cool. But yeah, that's it. That's like the whole game. If I don't sound super animated, it's because it's a relaxing game. Oh, I mean, it'll probably make me rage later on, but it's a soothing game, and sometimes you just need a soothing game to kind of to kind of play, you know? Like, not everything has to be like go to the end of the world. Oh, there's a green thing over there. I think that's just a bonus. Yeah, you have to, because you can do crazy like flips and stuff. But we won't do that right now. We're taking it slow. It's low and slow, but see, we got this. Oh, and this is a magnet thing. If I remember correctly, if you go too quickly on that, it will throw you off. Like you can fall off if you like go too wild. But yeah, I think the reason why this game and the second one, like right now, obviously it's just like a little like garden zone, but I think the harder ones, you're inside like a house or something. But I think the reason why I really enjoyed this and the other game was because when we were kids, so my mom and my aunt, they both, well, rewind. We lived next to my aunt, like literally sometimes in the same house, but my sister and my parents and my sister and me, and then my aunt, her husband, and then her 3 kids. We all lived either in the same house or next to each other or something for the first, not when I was born. When I was born, there was definitely two different locations, but then we eventually moved in when I was maybe like 3 or 4, I think, or maybe 5, was when we all moved into the like same area. And then from there on out until maybe when I was like 16, we moved and we were no longer in the same vicinity. But before that, we were basically either in the same house or next to each other. So, because of that, like I was always with my cousins because they were, you know, they lived like next door or whatever. Oh, they lived next door, so it was always I was always with them. And then what my mom and my aunt did for a living, because my dad did construction work and stuff, and then my mom and my aunt, I don't know what my aunt's husband does to this day, but what they do is they were like housekeepers, house cleaners or whatever. So they went out and they had like 3 people that they worked with, and everyone, they had like clients that they always worked with, and some of them like were super nice and some of them were dicks, but bills got to get paid. So, but the nice ones, I remember. I think there was this lady, and I think her name was we always called her Mrs. Roberta. I'd never met the lady, but apparently this lady was super nice, and she had like 2 kids. She had 2 daughters, I believe, and she was always super nice and like to my aunt, I guess. Because again, I never met her, but like she was always super nice to my aunt and her family, and like she knew that my aunt was like, you know, she was an immigrant, she came from another country, like she was just trying to get by, and like she was just kind of, you know, taking care of her family, like doing what you got to do. And this lady was super nice, and so what she would do is like, I think one of her daughters' name was Nikki, and I don't remember the other one. But as they got older, like any stuff, because they were a few years, I think they were a couple of years older than we were. So as they got older, like stuff that they either didn't want anymore, or like they didn't need, or things they grew out of, basically, like she would just give to my aunt as like gifts and stuff, right? So like a lot of it was like toys and stuff, because you know, the clothing, they were both girls, so you know, like my aunt had 2 boys and then 1 girl, so I think it was mostly the toys and stuff. But I remember because of that, like I think it was that, and then also, and then the rest might have just been like, I think that's where most of the stuff came from, or something to that nature. I'm not 100%, you know, because it wasn't my mom. It was my aunt. So I don't know the inner workings, and I don't know how 100% accurate all this is. But from what I recall, that's kind of what it was. But basically, they, like all kinds of like cool toys, and then sometimes I think the lady would just buy like my cousin's like toys and stuff, right? And I think my mom worked there. Sometimes, like when my aunt couldn't go, like my mom would do it, because I think my mom knew the lady too. But I think it was mostly like 100%, like it was mostly my aunt that was like that knew the lady. And so my cousins would get like all kinds of cool toys, and like Legos and like little board games that we like, so many damn board games. And things of that sort, you know, that like that we would play with, because they always had like all these cool stuff to play with. And I remember one of the things that, and then we would also, you know, like we you know, when you're kids, you make shit up, you don't just not everything you play according to rules, you just kind of make stuff up, right? But one of the things we have fascination with was marbles. Like we used to play in the dirt outside and play with marbles, and then also like when we couldn't go outside, or when we just felt like being inside, they were given I think the brand of the toys, it's like Playmobil or Playmobil or something, and they're these little like figurines that came with like play sets and stuff. So I think there was stuff like Castle and like kind of like Lego sets where they have like little things, but the Castle one, I think that's the one that we had, and you basically put this castle together, and it wasn't small pieces like Legos, it was like larger like pieces or whatever. And I think I'm supposed to go over. Yeah, so there was the castle thing, and then what we would do, me and my older cousin, well, they're both older than me, but there was one who was older, and there was one who was like barely older. And the older one, Alexis and I, we would make like little obstacle courses with the marbles, and for the marbles. But we would use like whatever the fuck whatever we had, you know. Like sometimes we'd take up the whole living room, we'd get yelled at because we were taking up the whole. Like it's like, what's this mess? And we're just making stuff. We're just, you know, we're dumb kids. We're just having fun. But I remember specifically this Playmobil castle. We used to make like little obstacle courses for the marbles, And what was cool is that, like, since they weren't like glued together, like the castle pieces, they were meant to be taken apart. Like, what we would do to like throw the marbles, we would just flick them with our thumbs, and then try to get into the whatever openings or spots or whatever, to get through the obstacle course. And it was a race to see who can get there first. But and we would take turns basically, kind of like golf, but with marbles. I guess is the best way to describe it. But I remember specifically that the castle walls or the windows, I don't remember which one it was, but if you like hit them hard enough, like they would fall. And it was hard plastic, so you couldn't dent them or anything. So what we would do is we'd flick the marble super hard to like break the door basically, or break the wall or whatever. And it it took a couple hits to like break or whatever, but it was so basically, yeah, that's what we would do, and we would create, we made all kinds of stuff, and the castle was always like one of the main things we used. But yeah, what I was getting at, the whole reason I set this whole thing and I set it up or whatever was because I think that's the reason why I was telling this was because I started with, I think the reason why I really enjoyed playing this game and then the sequel, and why marbles like fascinated me and things like that, or why I thought they're so cool games like this are so interesting to me, is because of that, because as a kid we used to make these little obstacle courses with our marbles, and we would play them. And like a game like this is so, with like, when this was out, there was stuff like there's stuff like Mario Galaxy, and like, at the same time the PS3 was out, and the Xbox, and like Halo, and like, all these like crazy, crazy games and stuff. And then there was like stuff like this that would randomly come out, and it was, and I think that's also why like always games like these that like if you explain it to someone, it's like, oh, what's that game about? Like you go to GameStop or Best Buy, and it's like, hey, what's this game about? It's like, oh, it's you play as a marble and you just have to guide the marble to the exit. It sounds dumb, and a lot of the like, especially too like around not too long after games like after the Wii came out was when smartphones started coming out, and little by little like this type of game, like getting a marble to the end, like it was one of the earliest like apps that became super popular, because app in the beginning, like games and stuff were super basic, and people were just getting used to smartphones, so obviously the games can be super complicated, but also I don't think people knew how to make complicated games yet. So like now if you look at a game like this, it's like, why would they put this on a console? Like, this seems like such a waste. Who would pay $40 or $30 or whatever the hell this cost when it came out, like to play this at home on the TV? And it's just like, well, at the time, the Wii Motion was like a brand new thing, so it was new and intriguing, and people wanted to play anything that they could. It's a simple concept, so like anyone can really pick it up and play or whatever. But yeah, like I don't know, it's like games like these, the fact that they were happening at the same time as like Halo and like all these other like just advanced games with like all this extra like 20 buttons and stuff like that, all these complicated ass games, like I think it's games like these, and I think it's why I like the Wii so much, because there's so many oddball games that like most people would just gloss over. They'd be like, oh, that's dumb, or like, like, why would you play this, or who cares, that doesn't sound fun, but there's so many games like these that like to me are like, oh no, sometimes you just want something like this. Like, this is, you don't always have to play with maximum graphics and like 20 buttons to do an action and that kind of, like, sometimes a simple game about a friggin' marble is plenty to get you through, and yeah, this game is that for me. Like, I love games like these, and for all the reasons that I stated, you know, like growing up and playing with marbles and making up our own games and hand-me-down toys and whatnot. But like, I don't know, I can definitely appreciate games like these, and yeah, like, and it's funny too, because like I remember the sequel to this. Like, we would so when I lived at home, and you know, like, I guess growing up, and then like that whole era of my life, and even like past the growing up part, but just like, just like the, you know, like the post high school like weird phase that I had a very long and weird post high school phase. But anyway, like, I remember what would happen would be like every time there'd be like an event or like a holiday or something, where like Easter or like Christmas or Thanksgiving or anything like that. Like we had these people that we've known for like ever. And they lived in Lancaster, so they were like an hour and a half away. But they would come visit us for stuff like that, or sometimes just to come visit or whatever, or we go visit them. But like we know we'd play all kinds of stuff. Like our go-to was always like Smash Brothers and Mario Kart, and like and there was a bunch of us. So it was like me, Janet, Anna wouldn't really do anything with us. But then there was like Kevin, Ashley, Rick, Renee, Melanie, Brian. Like, there's just a whole gang of them. Whole gang of these fucking kids. And like, I remember we would play Rock Band a lot, and just in general, like, we just played a lot of video games when they were together, and it was always super fun. But I remember one time, and we almost never played the same games over and over. Like, every time they came over, like, I had a new game that we wanted to play or whatever. So unfortunately, we never got to play like all the same stuff like as much as we wanted to. But like I remember specifically like bringing this game out. Well, not this one again. I when I mean this game, I mean the sequel, because that's the one that I had the most of. Well, that's the one that I got first, and that's the one that I played the most. But it's basically the same as this game. Like, this one. It literally is just an expansion pack more than a sequel, and like stuff like that. But I remember I pulled out like, and we played all kinds of stuff. Like, we played, like I was saying, like we'd play like old games like on the Dreamcast. We'd play games like on the you know, on the Wii, because I think that's what the biggest thing that was. We played stuff like Smash Brothers. We would play Mario Kart. We played Rock Band a whole lot. We played like Dokapon Kingdom, Mario Party, like I can't even think of like what else. But there was like it was just like anything that we can play multiplayer in, like we played like nonstop and stuff. So I remember pulling this game out and then being like, "Oh yeah, it's like a marble game," and they were like, "Okay, I guess." And then I was like, "No, trust me, like it's fun. Like I got it, and like, you know, like it's pretty fun." And then I remember, I think Janet was like, "Yeah, it like it is like it's pretty good," because Janet always liked the monkey ball games, because when she was kind of like the Wii came out when she was a kid, so it's kind of her first console when she learned how to play video games, or she got interested in video games through the Wii. And then Nintendo DS later. Actually, I don't know which one she got first, but basically, so she like got used to like motion controls and stuff like that, and she kind of grew up with that. But I remember Janet also like she liked this game because it was one of those things where it was like, it's like there's no buttons, there's no complicated stuff. Because I remember trying to get Janet to play some like older games, and I was like, "Oh yeah, your reflexes ain't there, kid." But then stuff like this she was more capable of. And then I remember, I think she used to play Mario Kart Wii with full motion controls and always do well. And it always boggled my mind because I'm like, I can't for the life of me play with the motion controls on. Like it's impossible for me. But for her, it was, oh man, I thought the exit was down there. But yeah, I remember she enjoyed this game as well. And yeah, I remember like we played it, and like it was one of those games where it's like, oh, let's do more, and like no one I think expected to like this game as much as they did. But it was one of those games where it was definitely like, oh, that was a cool experience. I'm glad that I got to experience this. Oh, I'm going real slow because I don't know where to go. Is that it? All right. But yeah, I think that's it for Kororinpa Marble Saga. That's yeah, I think that's it for this. I don't think this is a series. I think this is just a one-off. Unless I've got more stories to talk about, because it's so relaxing. But yeah, I just wanted to play this, and I was looking at what games to play, and I found this in there, and I was like, yeah, I like this game. It's nice, and it's fun, and it's relaxing. So that's it for that date on there. Oh, it is. Well, I guess it is. No, it's not the 24th. That date is all wrong. But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for listening to me babble about being a kid and playing with marbles. Being a goofy loser kid. But yeah, Marble Mania. I am a huge fan. I love it.